This section is going to be really quick, real fast. This is going to be real fast. So just to I guess go over some key words that are going to be here. First, when you're talking about rates, that you mean derivatives, or they mean derivatives, or it is meant that we're talking about a derivative. So that's something. The rate of change refers to a derivative. Also, if you have something that suppose y is directly proportional to x, that just means you have some constant times x, and that's what y is equal to. So if it's said that y is directly proportional to x, or simply y is proportional to x, then what is meant is that you have y equals some constant times x. If you say inversely proportional, then that means we have y equaling to some constant divided by x. So those are some key words there. To just realize, just have, yeah, that's, I mean, and then the rest of it's so broad, and you're just interpreting sentences, so it's best to just get a feel for how to interpret them by trying. That's really it. Just try. Okay, let's look at this huge example. A chemical is diluted out of a tank by pumping pure water into the tank and pumping the existing solution out. Thus, the volume at any time T is given by this. So this just represents the volume in the tank. We don't really have to do any calculations. It just represents the volume. Because remember, we're writing differential equations. We're not solving them yet. So the amount Z of chemical, so Z is the amount of chemical in the tank, decreases. So the amount decreases at a rate proportional to Z and inversely proportional to the volume of the solution in the tank. So here's what I'm thinking. The amount Z of chemical in the tank decreases at a rate proportional to Z. So first of all, I'm thinking dZ dt, because the rate at which this decreases, it should be dZ dt. In fact, actually, if we're decreasing, it should also be a negative rate. So dZ dt equals something, and then it says which describes the relationship, and then there's equations there. But I want to just think about this a little bit more. So Z is changing, dZ dt, that's what we're going to call it, because that's the rate of change of Z. And that rate of change is proportional to Z. So that means if I said, like, that's this part, proportional. So I should have, like, K times Z. So dZ dt equals K times Z. And inversely proportional to the volume of the solution. Remember, the volume is this. So inversely proportional would be like K over the 20 plus 2T, because that's whatever, that's the volume. Right? Hopefully that makes sense. So we are going to choose which one that is. Now, they don't ever talk about a difference between two things. That would be subtraction. So it's definitely not the first one, and not the second one. So it might be this one. However, this one's directly proportional to the volume. It said inversely proportional to the volume. Remember, the volume is that. So it definitely has to be choice B, and that's our answer. And that's pretty much how these goes. They're so varied, so it's important to keep these in mind and just ask questions if you have them. It should be really, really simple, though. You're just picking out what the equation describes. This will get better, or we'll get really good at this when we do free response stuff. Okay, goodbye.